Welcome to this webinar on e-invoicing for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. We're going to start the presentation shortly, so please use this time to make yourself comfortable in the screen in front of you. If you've got any questions during the presentation, please use the button called Q&A and ask your question there. We'll come back to all questions as much as we can at the end of the presentation. For now, I hope you're going to enjoy our presentation on e-invoicing for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Welcome to this video on e-invoicing with intelligent automation for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. My name is Jesper Scherpenhuizen and I'm a consultant sales engineer here at Kofax. And in that capacity, I assist organizations worldwide with tackling their intelligent automation challenges. As all of you know, the government of Saudi Arabia have declared that starting December 4th, all invoices need to be generated electronically, and they will need to adhere to very specific requirements. For instance, that they would need to have a QR code with key data points embedded in there, but also a UBL XML file that needs to be generated, stored, and embedded within the PDF as well. So that is just phase one that's going to go into effect on December 4th of this year, which will be followed by phase two, where we actually will need to integrate with the Gazette authorities, where we need to upload the XML files for every transaction in real time. What we also need to do is we need to, of course, make sure that everything that we do starting December 4th is fully compliant with these rules and regulations. Phase 2 is, of course, still being designed, but we know exactly what we need to do for phase 1. So that being said, we need to be able to generate invoices, including QR codes, integrate that into your existing ERP systems and processes, and further down the line, we also need to be able to process those invoices in those new formats as well. So the government has deemed this the prep list for all organizations that need to adhere to this new legislation, and we as Kofax want to help, and we have designed that you can say, well, the thing that needs to happen is that we need to be able to turn data into these invoices that we have, and we have a great solution for that called Kofax Communication Manager that has been around for over 25 years and still being actively developed, which will be able to generate invoices coming from any system that you might have, any ERP system you have. You will be able to generate invoices from there, where you will also be able to make fully compliant PDF A3 with the UBL XML, make sure that that's all embedded, get the QR code on there, and make sure that you are compliant with these new rules and regulations. And implementation of this solution can start fairly quickly. For those of you who are unaware of who Kofax is a globally operating software vendor headquartered in Irvine, California, and we've been around for several decades, and we can count thousands upon thousands of companies as our customers, and we go to market with our intelligent automation platform, of which Kofax Communication Manager is a very important part. So what I would like to do is I want to quickly show you what our solution can do, and from there make sure that we start talking about next steps. So what I've done here is I've designed something that looks like an ERP system, from where you can have several cases that you can work on, and you can then automatically generate valid invoices and fully compliant invoices, of course, which will have all of the information on there that you would need, including the QR code, including the XML file, you name it. What you can also do is, once you've generated these, you can also create them in a review or in a manual step. If you want to say, for instance, I want to add additional discounts to it, or if you want to add a personal note to the invoice, where you can actually have a sort of a wizard approach to actually generate these invoices. So as you can see, we can make all sorts of changes before we send this out. And once we've done that, we have the exact same invoice there as well. You can also use this solution to generate invoices automatically. So I've got over 100 invoices here ready to be generated. As you can see, they are XML format right now, but that could also be done through a web service interface or through a direct API integration. And I'm just going to paste them here, and you can immediately see that these invoices are being generated with the XML files with lightning speed. So let me just open up one of them. As you can see, these have been generated in PDF-A format with the QR code there, and of course also containing the attached XML file. So fully compliant with the ZATCA requirements. So up until now, we've been talking about how to generate invoices in an accounts receivable perspective. But going forward, you will of course be receiving all your invoices from Saudi Arabian suppliers in this same e-invoicing form. So wouldn't it be great if your accounts payable department would have a solution in place to automatically process these e-invoices going forward? Well, that's where I want to touch upon right now. So what we want to do is I want to show you how you can process incoming invoices with a Kofax account payable agility, and how we can then register and process these for further coding in SAP by using Kofax Process Director. So let's have a quick look, shall we? So let's have a quick look at accounts payable agility. So once we log in, we will then see what kind of tasks have been assigned to us. Because accounts payable agility is capable of processing any sort of invoice coming in and not just e-invoices, there's always a chance that there's an exception on an invoice, and those will then be routed to an operator. So the invoice we're looking at right now is an e-invoice, so this is typically processed without any human interaction. But for the interest of this demo, we just want to show you how we've been able to extract all of the relevant business data from this invoice. And that's not just limited to the header information, but also all of the line items. So we can do 2- and 3-way matching on this as well. So accounts payable agility can do that 2- and 3-way matching, but also the coding. But in this scenario, I want to show you how you can do that natively within SAP by using Kofax Process Director. So we've just seen how Kofax Accounts Payable Agility is capable of processing incoming invoices and specifically Saudi Arabian e-invoices. For further processing, we now have the choice to either do it with AP Agility, Accounts Payable Agility, or we can use platform-specific solutions like in this case, SAP, where we're going to be using Kofax Process Director. So let me show you what happened in SAP. So first we're going to open up Process Director, and we want to find the actual invoice that has been posted to SAP. So we have the option here to look for vendor, for purchasing documents, you name it. But you can also search per date or date range, of course. And that's of course what we're going to be doing here today. So let's just give the actual date in, and we can find all of the invoices that were submitted or posted during that time. So there we go. And now we're going to get a list of all of the invoices that were posted during that date or date range. And here you see all of the information, and this could of course be numerous invoices that you have there. And the only thing you have to do to open up this specific invoice that was actually submitted from Accounts Payable Agility is actually just click the document number. So let's do that. And here we have the information that the SAP system within Process Director received from Accounts Payable Agility. So you see the actual invoice document, you see all the invoice information, you see all the line items, you name it. All of the information that was retrieved from the invoice, plus of course the information that has been matched to, is all there. So you have the general information, you have the actual invoice information, you have the tax information, all the vendor information as well, and also you have the match against the purchasing document as well. So on the invoice information, you'll find all of those data points too, and also the invoice document number there as well. So that's the invoice document number. That's a document within SAP. You've got the tax rates, you've got the vendor information, all the information you might need to review that you might want there. And then of course on the line item level, that's where we can execute 2 and 3 main matching. So is the amount correct? Is the price correct? But also, does it represent the same amount of of units that was received? Very important, of course. And if that's happened, then we can automatically process this further on down the line. So that's what we're going to do right now, when we want to actually open up the actual logistics document as well. So let's just go back to that screen. Just give me 1 second here, and just click the invoice document number. There we go. So here we have the invoice document that has been posted to SAP, and then later on we can actually easily match this against and attach the actual documents to this as well. Here we have the actual document, and then of course you can just call up any time that you want it. And you can also just match it to here as well. So it's done all of that matching, and all of these documents can be retrieved from all of that. So what we've actually seen here is, of course, we've seen how easy it is to generate ZATCA compliant e-invoices. It's capable of then making sure that we adhere to all the rules and requirements for phase 1 that's starting on December 4th. I've also shown you how you can then process incoming invoices as well by using Kofax Accounts Payable Agility, and also how you can then embed that within your SAP system with Kofax Process Director. We have, of course, solutions for every ERP out there, but first things first, start thinking about your invoice generation to be compliant from December 4th going forward. So this has been my presentation. If you've got any sort of questions, please feel free to drop them in the Q&A screen. And if we don't have enough time, don't you worry, we'll come back and we'll answer every question that's in there. So for now, I would say thanks so much for your time, and let's see all the questions that we have.